closest collaborator and protege, in a way that OTF supporters viewed as deeply disrespectful. That kind of trolling in the context of a real death was not just artistic provocation. It was a direct challenge to Dirk's response, his credibility, and his claim to any form of loyalty on the street. Cash also used Instagram Live in a way that escalated the rivalry beyond music. He went on camera to challenge Dirk and OTF directly, suggesting their threats were empty, that they were performing for the internet rather than actually about anything real. See, he was watching from outside. It looked the people inside the Chicago streets, it looked considerably more got yourself killed, after what happened to Cash in June 2022. Those Instagram Live sessions became some of the most analyzed footage in the entire feud's history. On the morning of June 10, 2022, at approximately 5:32 in the morning, Christian Hamilton was driving through the Auburn Gresham neighborhood on Chicago's South Side. He was on the 1600 block of West 81st Street with a 29-year-old woman asleep in the passenger seat. A black four-door sedan described by police as possibly a Cadillac pulled up and cut off his vehicle. Two people got out of that Cadillac and opened fire. Hamilton and the woman both got out of the vehicle and attempted to flee. Cash was struck at least 13 times. Police recovered 23 shell casings at the scene, including 14 from a rifle. Hamilton was transported to Advocate Christ Medical Center in Oak Lawn and pronounced dead just before 8 in the morning. The woman survived with gunshot wounds to her left arm and upper back. No arrests were announced. The case remained officially open. The immediate reaction in Chicago's hip-hop community was exactly what you would expect given the history. Within hours of Cash's death being reported, fans, commentators, and people familiar with the OTF FBG rivalry were pointing the conversation in one direction. The intensity of the beat, the public nature of Cash's trolling, and the timing all combined to create a very clear suspicion narrative online. Proud becomes potential evidence that money was exchanged as part of an ongoing criminal structure. The defense will absolutely contest that interpretation, and we'll have the opportunity to cross-examine Jam on his motives, his memories, the benefits he may be receiving from cooperation, and every aspect of his credibility. But the fact that prosecutors intend to use a song that Dirk released publicly to help establish a criminal payment structure shows exactly how the government is attempting to collapse the distance between the music and the alleged crimes. Then, there is the bathroom incident. According to the prosecution's expected presentation of Jam's testimony, there was a moment during a music video shoot in which Dirk and other OTF members allegedly pulled Jam aside in the bathroom and told him to slow down on committing murders because his actions were attracting federal law enforcement attention to the organization. If that account were allegedly discussing violent conduct explicitly, including concerns about how that conduct was being noticed by investigators. But here's the word that matters in every one of these descriptions: allegedly. Jam's testimony has not yet been delivered. It has not been cross-examined. A jury has not evaluated his credibility, his motives, his history, or the consistency of his account. What exists right now is a reported picture of what the government expects him to say. That picture can change dramatically once defense attorneys get the opportunity to challenge it. Now let's talk about the FBG Cash connection directly, because it is the piece of this story that the internet has latched onto most aggressively. Prosecutors in federal cases involving alleged criminal enterprises frequently seek to introduce evidence of multiple crimes committed over a period of time to establish the existence and nature of the enterprise. That is the RICO theory, that a group of people operated as an organized criminal entity and that the various crimes committed by members of that entity should be understood as part of a larger pattern, rather than an isolated incident. In Dirk's case, prosecutors originally attempted to include racketeering charges alongside the Los Angeles murder-for-hire counts. Judge Fitzgerald ultimately severed those charges, but the underlying theory remains relevant when thinking about what Jam's testimony could cover. If Jam has knowledge of other Chicago-based violence connected to the OTF circle, including any violence targeting FBG affiliates, that knowledge could become relevant in any future racketeering proceedings or could surface as part of the broader evidentiary picture prosecutors intend to construct. The question of whether Jam has specific knowledge about FBG Cash's murder and whether that knowledge connects to any direction or instruction from anyone inside OTF is precisely where fans and legal observers are watching for. But here's what has not been established. No court filing has confirmed that Jam personally killed F.b.g Cash. No publicly available federal indictment names Jam as the perpetrator of Cash's murder. No publicly available testimony has been given in court connecting Jam to the shooting on West 81st Street in the early morning hours of June 10, 2022. What are your thoughts in the comments on what you think Jam is really going to reveal? And tap the video on screen for more. Let's go at years and produced multiple deaths before Cash's murder in June 2022. F.b.g Duck's killing in August 2020 was one of the most brazen murders in Chicago's recent history. Shot in broad daylight on the Gold Coast while shopping on Oak Street. The four men eventually convicted for that murder were connected to a rival gang, and the federal prosecution successfully used rap music, social media posts, and documented relationships to establish a criminal enterprise. Allegedly wore a hidden wire for the government after his release, recording conversations inside the OTF circle. If accurate, that detail changes the entire evidentiary picture. Audio recordings of private conversations are not the same as a witness recounting what he remembers from years ago. They are potentially direct evidence of what was said, how it was said, and in what context. Defense attorneys can challenge the authenticity of recordings, question whether conversations were properly contextualized, and argue that statements were taken out of context. But the existence of recordings is fundamentally more powerful than unrecorded memory. Step you in the bathroom, and this is a damn shit, man. This is a damn shame, bro. This is crazy, man. When I first heard it, I wanted to first look at the case file and get some of the information out of there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I couldn't believe it, because everybody I've talked to has always said, like, yo, man, Jam was really getting taken care of by Lil Durk when he was locked up. Federal murder for hire case moves toward trial. For nearly 2 years, the internet has been filled with rumors that OTF Jam cooperated with federal investigators. Now, prosecutors are revealing something much more concrete. OTF Jam is expected to testify, and according to the government, what he could tell the jury may become an important part of the prosecution's case against Lil Durk.
Supposed to be watching over, we supposed to be looking out for. They names in the indictment.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Some kids though.
Now, here goes one name that came up that I had to ask you about. We kind of talked about this offline a little bit.
Right.
You seem to be a little familiar with him. It's a guy by the name of OTF Jam.
Right.
Now, he's an older cat, and he allegedly did 12 years. He allegedly got into a lot of situations on the street. You know, he's known as a shooter. I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm saying that's what they say on social media.
Right.
And he linked up immediately with Durk. Now, what's your knowledge of OTF Jam?
Jam, one of them, I ain't gonna lie, Jam, big a lot of clout. Through the jails especially, you know what I'm saying? He did 10 up in there, you know what I'm saying? Me and him was in Lawrenceville together. You know what I'm saying? That's when we really started, I really started, kicking it with him. We really started talking, you know what I'm saying? Building this like that, kicking this. I was working in commissary in Lawrenceville, and he was down there or whatever. But, I mean, he got respect all through the jails, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then nobody with him, you know what I'm saying? He had respect through the jails. He got the clout, you know what I'm saying? He been mentioned in Durk's songs before he even got out of jail. So he already had, his name was already out there before he got out. And then when he got out, it just added on to it. And because now he got some money now, you know what I'm saying? He got a chain now, you know what I'm saying? He looking good now. He ain't got them prison clothes on no more. But Jam always been known for one of them niggas who didn't play with it. It's like people didn't play with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, these, like,
care of people. He's taking care of Jam in prison. He's taking care of Jam in house. What in the world could be the motivation to say, you know what, I'm about to flip on it? Because on the video clips that they're showing, the way that he's moving, I don't know if you've seen him, like they've been breaking him down, like when he's in the background of the video or shooting videos with Lil Durk.
Right.
He does look a little awkward, you know. And I'm not trying to judge a book by his character, you know, judge a book by his cover. But he look like he up to something, you know what I'm saying? I hate to say it like that. But he do look like he up to something, man. Like, what do you think about that?
I mean, he always looked like he up to something sick because he be on dirt all the time. But I don't know. I mean, I ain't see all the clips. I might have to go back and look at them like that. But to be honest though, you would never know the reasons a nigga do something like that. You never know what's going through that man's head. You feel? If these allegations is true, it could be anything. It's probably that we don't know that they know that's on the inside of that. You know what I'm saying? It's probably just the way he just felt like maybe after he came home and he got that little money, maybe he started treating him different, or maybe something had happened, or maybe him and Dirk really ain't been seeing eye to eye. He like, oh yeah, he was. Maybe Dirk doing more for certain than what they doing for him. You know what I'm saying? It could be anything. It could be he just did 12 years and he ain't trying to go back to jail.